Right now on VFNtv, we're in the fourth installment of the first 23 months of President Trump's presidency, the state of the nation of America, right now on VFNtv. Be sure to subscribe and press alert to get new notifications of new success secrets made available on VFNtv. Welcome to VFNtv. I'm Greg Lancaster, your host, and joining me is John Ramos.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Man, I'm excited about what we're talking about. 23 months of just blessings.
Isn't
man.
it strange how so many people are focusing on negative things instead of these successes and these winnings?
While they're tripping over all these wonderful things.
You're missing. You got to share this with everybody you know. Go write to us, your friends at VFNkb. We love hearing from you. Also, comment below. But you can share this. You can go to our YouTube channel. We're gonna make this available to you on YouTube. You might even be watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're broadcasting it, streaming it, but you can share with your friends. Encourage your loved ones. Send this to them. It'll really encourage them. What are we doing? We're looking at the first 23 months of the presidency of President Donald Trump. And we're just kind of chronologically working our way up to the present day to find out, what's taking place. And we've heard some pretty awesome things.
Pretty awesome things. It reminds me when he signed the tax cut bill and Senator Orrin Hatch from Utah spoke on behalf of the president. And I was surprised by what he said. He said that single-handedly that this president has done more than any other president ever. And he may go down as the greatest president ever, and that we all should get support, get behind him and support him.
He was so moved, he said that I love him.
Yeah.
Remember, that was so powerful at that moment. Because when you see somebody loving your country, understanding your family's going to be raised up under this new direction of the country. And I think about also in the Paris Accord agreement, which was, everybody wants a better climate, but it was set up in such a way, the reports are, it was transferring all of America's wealth and outside of the country. It was like giving away America's wealth. And it's like, what's going on? But
on the backs of Americans.
Well, yes, and that that was the goal based on a lot of the reports of the strategies. How can you drain the resources out of it? I think about Cloward and Piven. Cloward and Piven is a couple that wrote about how to actually crash a government. They tried it in the 60s, the Weather Underground and the crew that's doing things against the government. And they tried to get everybody on some sort of government-funded program, but they found out America's way too strong for that. The middle class is way too happy to get them to be turned against the country. But since then, they've been working overtime to turn people against their very own future and country. But this moment in time, in the last 23 months, because you prayed, people prayed, God has heard, and He's turning this country around for the blessings of America and also the world and Israel. As a matter of fact, we're going to go back and continue to look chronologically, as we're picking up in the fourth installment here of, what's happening, looking back on President Trump's presidency, the first 23 months. And I remember here is one. This is President Trump making the announcement that he's going to nominate Brett Kavanaugh as a nominee for the second Supreme Court. This is his second nomination, and you're seeing that. As a matter of fact, it happened. The nomination declaration was in July, but you're seeing it take place that he'll be seated October the 1st for the Supreme Court. Take a look.
Tonight, it is my honor and privilege to announce that I will nominate Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court. Judge Kavanaugh has impeccable credentials, unsurpassed qualifications, and a proven commitment to equal justice under the law. The Supreme Court is entrusted with the safeguard of the crown jewel of our republic, the Constitution of the United States. The rule of law is our nation's proud heritage. It is the cornerstone of our freedom. It is what guarantees equal justice. And the Senate now has the chance to protect this glorious heritage by sending Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court.
Exciting. Think about it. Supreme Court is getting back to its original intent to actually to find out if the laws that Congress made, not the Supreme Court, that the Congress makes, if they're constitutional or not. They're not supposed to make laws, and they can't make laws. It's unconstitutional to make laws. And that's why you saw so many people so upset about Kavanaugh's appointment and Gorsuch's appointment, because they were going to go back and go, this is not a law at all. This is just an opinion of a court. It's unconstitutional.
That's right.
And instantly, they'll do away with it. There was evil things done in the past in America, and one of them was slavery. And you know what? A decision was made on the bench I believe it was Justice, I can't forget the particular justice right now, but they said it's going to be this way forever. Guess what? The Supreme Court came in, turned it around, and did away with the evilness of that. And there's a lot of evilness right now on the books, or if it hasn't been done away yet, that's being done away with because of righteous judges that are constitutionalists, that love God, love the country. And it's so, so very, very important when you think about that. Pray for those. You know, we've been praying for years, you know, and many people, you have too maybe, that, you know, praying for the Supreme Court, praying for our legislatures, our governmental leaders. God says, pray for all those in authority over you that you may have a peaceful life.
That's right. Peaceful, quiet, and godly life.
Yes. Yes, godly life. And I think about this too. We talk about this quite often, but look at how our President Trump, during his 23 months of being president, in July of 2018, he addressed at this dinner at Greenbrier about how he wanted to make sure that he saluted. You know, everybody talks about, you know, I want to be president, so they salute me. But President Trump is saluting our troops because he says over and over again, we would not have America, we would not be America, we would not have the freedom, well, the blood and the sacrifice of those men and women who served and serve in our armed forces. And this is President Trump. In July of 2018, we're working our way up to 23 months, saluting our troops. Check it out.
We're gathered here on the eve of the 4th of July to celebrate courageous men and women who make freedom possible. American independence has endured because of the sweat, blood, and sacrifice of the American armed forces. We are reminded how truly blessed we are to be American and to live in this land of our great heroes. This 4th of July, let us pledge to renew the bonds of love and loyalty that unite us together as Americans. Let us pledge to expand the blessings of liberty, prosperity, and justice to all of our citizens. And let us always remember that we are one people and one nation, saluting one great American flag.
One great American flag. I mean, the red stripes represents the bloodshed that's been given over the years to allow us. I think the reports are like 1% of America volunteers to serve in the armed services to be able to keep and maintain our freedoms, and not only our freedoms, but freedoms of those around the world.
Absolutely.
It's just amazing to see that. So here he is. He's, you know, in the first 23 months, he's doing what he said he would do. And I think about this. You know, you think about the nuclear threats that were taking place from North Korea during the last presidency, and the first thing that President Trump heard reportedly from President Obama when he was leaving office was his greatest threat that he needs to focus on is North Korea. Don't know why he wasn't focusing on it, but anyway, so he understood that right away. And so I think about this. Remember, they had Otto. You remember Otto, the student?
That they had,
he ripped down a poster, you know, some propaganda on the wall, and they sentenced him to hard labor. This young, strong man with a great future ahead of him, and they just took him to those gulags and whatever, tormented him and made him, you know, did terrible things to him. And he came back like a zombie, only to be delivered to his parents right before he was going to die. And it was just so sad. At the same time, we had a minister that was there, and we had another man that was there, and as three actually.
Sure.
And they were there teaching some different things, but they also were there, you know, as people who love God and love the North Korean people. Well, they took them, they held them hostage, and nobody could get them out. But guess what? President Trump, whatever he said, the favor God's put on his life, he got on the communication circuit, and next thing you know, he flew those hostages back. And I wish we had footage to be able to show you. Maybe you're seeing it right now, I don't know. But he brought them in, he held flags up, he welcomed them, he gave the embrace, he embraced them, and just so grateful to, I mean, sort of like Ronald Reagan. Remember President Ronald Reagan? The first thing he did was free the hostages of Iran. It was taking place, and
well,
it just
President and Melania, First Lady, met them at 3 a.m. when the plane came in to welcome them home. It's amazing. We had a lot of American bloodshed. My grandfather fought in the Korean War, and there was a lot of Americans that died there. And so it's good to see things come full circle and see this dictator. In fact, North Korea is the #1 persecutor of Christians.
Yeah.
And so to see this thing come full circle, you only can say just the hand of God.
This is so important. Some of the prophecies about North Korea is there's going to be a revival that takes place in North Korea that the world won't even believe it till they go see it. And we showed you some of those things taking place. But there was the Singapore summit that was facilitated and caused to happen because of President Donald Trump. He put it together where everybody in Asia were going to come together. the leader of North Korea, the hermit kingdom, they call it that because it never would come out from itself. You know how a hermit goes up into its shell. And he got him to come to Singapore. I mean, they had to pay the bills and stuff because they have already, you know, anyway, either way. So they come together and began to start peace talks to denuclearize the Korean peninsula. And I just heard, I believe her name is Kat Kerr, maybe that's her name, but her first name is Kat, a prophetic lady that's saying that the North and the South Korean people will once again be unified. That's coming in the future, and the present leader of North Korea will not be in the picture, she says.
Well, the prophetic word too is that the bamboo curtain is coming down.
Yeah.
And who knows that, you know, that capital used to be known as Jerusalem of the East. And
that's
so,
right. Yeah,
who knows what God's going to do there, but it's going to be a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful. And so I want to take you down and remind you, in July of 2018, in addition to everything else he did in July, President Trump went to the Singapore summit that he helped facilitate and put up that nobody else could do, and made it actually come to pass and began denuclearization of North Korea. Take a look. Powerful, I'm telling you. And think about this, it's President Trump that led the charge for the biggest sanctions in the history probably of the world on North Korea. He even got China to participate, Russia to participate, and these are the ones that have been fueling what they've been doing there, and putting that pressure on them to make them consider, you know, no longer shooting those nukes off. They were shooting missiles over Japan. They were shooting missiles high enough to be able to reach the west coast of America. And President Trump took the leadership in that to be able to stop that from happening, which the whole world rejoices over that.
Not to mention they have a satellite in space that, you know, reportedly they can
North Korea has a satellite.
Yeah, that could do damage to us. So this is really important times.
It flies over your country probably every 24 hours or whatever, but it could easily have a pulse, EMP type pulse nuclear weapon that goes off and basically shuts down all the machinery and technology in that particular region. It just, you know, it could go off. And so, listen, this is huge. This is very exciting what's taking place. And like I said, the biggest treasury sanctions that ever been put on a country has been put on North Korea. And this is happening through President Trump's leadership. It's exciting. The first 23 months is looking pretty good. Pretty good. Now think about this too. You know, we went through an earlier program where, you know, Bastille Day, where President Trump was invited by President Macron over in France, but he also, President Donald Trump and the First Lady Melania, brought in France, the Prime Minister, President Macron and Mrs. Macron to the White House, your house, the White House, those that are in America that are watching this, and just honored France, and France honored us. Understand this, France was very key in helping America get their freedom in the Revolutionary War, because I believe Benjamin Franklin went over to get them to finance.
Give us some money.
Give us some money. And so we have a deep, long relationship over many centuries, 2 centuries.
Well, they gave us the Statue of Liberty as a gift?
Yes, and that came from them. So now, you know, when you see President Trump taking President Macron to see these different sites, and you're about to see this, the reason why is because our relationship goes back historically. So this is President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania with President Macron and his wife coming into the White House in America. Take a look. That was the First Lady preparing for the meal to be able to dine with the President of France. Is that not beautiful? I mean, it's just such elegance, and that's them representing you if you're in America, and if you care about freedom in the world, that's them representing you, because they'll be there for a time, and then the other people will come and serve in that office, and they're bringing dignity and respect, and countries are respecting them. Some of the things President Trump says, when world leaders, almost every world leader that comes to see him, the first thing they do is compliment him on what he's doing with the economy, with the jobs, and how he's standing boldly. And I know we're going to go to a break, but I want to remind you of this, that I don't know if you remember, one of the candidates that were running at the same time with him was Dr. Ben Carson. And Dr. Ben Carson is over HUD, he's the Secretary of HUD, but he is going around into areas where people need help to break loose from generations of poverty and no chances, and creating Envision Centers. Envision Centers to be able to help empower and to train and to equip and to help get vision, because people, this is what Secretary Ben Carson said. Without vision, people perish. So he's reestablishing vision into the hearts of those people who took advantage of them historically in the past, to give them vision so they can be the next president of the United States. It's exciting.
Upward mobility.
Yeah. And by the way, one thing that Secretary Ben Carson did when he got into HUD, as Secretary of HUD, the Housing and Urban Development, is he had an audit done. And guess what he found out? He found there was $500 billion under President Obama's administration in the HUD department that is unaccounted for, reportedly, right?
Yeah.
$500 billion.
Amazing.
Thank you, Dr. Ben Carson. Listen, God is doing some awesome things. When we get back, we're going to continue this first 23 months of President Donald Trump, and we've got some pretty awesome things coming up. It ain't over yet. Join us after the break.
We'll be right back.
Everybody will love it. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
I mean, when you love the Word of God, I mean, it's exciting in your abiding time. By the way, beginning to abide now. Learning how to abide with God is so important, because he says, apart from abiding in me, Jesus said, you can't even do any of this. And we have a simple plan for you. It's at iabide.org. You know, most people want to abide. They want to spend that time with God, but they need a plan. We have a free plan for you. It's at iabide.org. You just fill out that little simple request thing. It comes right to in your email, and it's a great step-by-step how you can begin to abide with him. Listen, you want to begin to hang out with the King, since his kingdom is manifesting. It's going to be the greatest thing he's ever done in the face of the earth. It's about to happen. You want to know the King.
So now you got racists blaming each other. You got police blaming the people blaming the police. You got parents blaming children, children blaming parents. When are we going to seek his face? When are we going to turn?
I played high school basketball, and so my daughter's a sophomore in high school. She's 6 feet tall. Her teammates want her to try out. The coaches want her to try out.
That's Margot Starbuck, and she's on today's Focus on the Family Minute, reflecting about how she learned not to push her daughter when it came to sports.
And I really have to check myself, because she's, not so sure. And she did end up trying out, made the team, and it required me letting go a little bit. She had a horrible season. She did not play again. And as a mom, I had to see who she was and release her to do the things that she really enjoyed. And so again and again, I think we need to notice what's inside of us so that we really can see who our child is and not be sort of forcing our own things.
So don't let your desires drive the way. Instead, let your child grow into his or her own abilities. More from Margot Starbuck about finding good balance at FamilyMinute.org.
Welcome back to VFNtv with your host, Greg Lancaster.
Welcome back. We're looking at the first 23 months of President Trump's presidency, and it's just been success after success. But I think about this, when a president gets in, they make a huge sweeping change. And one change that he made when he got in, he fired all 46 attorney generals that was established and put in place by President Obama to be able to promote what President Obama thought was the right way for America. And of course, America said, we don't want that way. They voted for President Trump, and all of a sudden, all 46 attorney generals, in addition to that, there was people getting in government just to go out and get a good job. And so they would be in government for a little bit, and they go become a lobbyist or whatever. President Trump, put in a 5-year banned from being a lobbyist. So you can't just work for the president and his cabinet for a year and then quit and go lobby somewhere. You have to wait 5 years. And by the way, 5 years in Washington, D.C. is a lifetime.
It's a lifetime. Well, not only
Yes.
that, they said black business ownership under President Trump jumped up 400%.
Wow.
Is that amazing?
400%. Oh my goodness. I think about this. I remember that in August of 2018, just recently, where President Trump was at Fort Drum standing up again for our armed forces and just letting us know and letting them know we're going to do this thing together. It's all going to happen. Check it out.
America will always rise to every challenge and overcome every danger because we are backed by the strength and power of the American soldier. After years of devastating cuts, we're now rebuilding our military like we never have before. Every day the Army is fighting for us, and now we are fighting for you. The National Defense Authorization Act is the most significant investment in our military in modern history. America's future is safe, sound, and brighter than ever. We are advancing forward with our confidence renewed, our might restored, and the unwavering conviction that our destiny is our victory. America is a peaceful nation, but if conflict is forced upon us, we will fight and we will win.
Oh my goodness, think about this. In addition to that, business investments up by 39%. In 23 months he's done this. And I think about this, make sure you join us on our next program because we're going to continue this. This is President Trump and the First Lady welcoming the President of Kenya in Africa. Check it out. We love Kenya, and it's amazing. We got missionary friends that are in Kenya, and we're excited about President Trump and the President of Kenya standing together. But also, think about this. As we're moving into all this outer space stuff and satellites, and we're very vulnerable in space. But guess what? President Trump has started a space force. You have the Air Force, the Army, the Marines, the Navy, the Coast Guard, but now we have the Space Force. Is that awesome? Check it out.
My administration is reclaiming America's heritage as the world's greatest spacefaring nation. The essence of the American character is to explore new horizons and to tame new frontiers. But our destiny beyond the Earth is not only a matter of national identity, but a matter of national security. When it comes to defending America, it is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space. And today we're taking one more step to unleash the power of American ingenuity to implement a state-of-the-art framework for space traffic management. Our nation of pioneers still yearns to conquer the unknown because we are Americans and the future belongs totally to us.
Pleased to report to the whole team here at NASA, President Trump has brought renewed vision and renewed action to America's space program. And because of the enduring commitment of the Johnson Space Center and NASA, America is leading in space once again. Those pioneers saw from that far perspective that however deep into the cosmos we may reach, our destiny, mankind's destiny, is not only here on Earth, it is in the heavens as well. It is now the official policy that we will return to the moon, put Americans on Mars, and once again explore the farthest depths of outer space. I'm going to make you a promise. Soon and very soon, American astronauts will return to space on American rockets launched from American soil. America will lead mankind to the stars once again.
We're going to the moon again. Let us know. Comment below. Write to us at friends@vfnkb.com. But guess what? It gets better. He's standing up for the ICE officers and the Border Patrol officers, the immigration officers, and he's letting them know, listen, you are strong and you are doing your job and we stand with you. Check it out.
We're here today to salute the incredibly brave patriots who keep America safe. Everyone here today understands a vital truth that America is a land of opportunity because we are a nation of laws. For America to be a strong nation, we must have strong borders. You are the patriots, and you are the heroes, you are the fighters, and you are the warriors for justice. You are great people. I'm honored every single day to serve as your commander-in-chief. I will never leave your side. I will never leave the fight. I will never, ever let you down. So on behalf of a grateful nation, let me say thank you for your service. You are truly incredible people.
So very, very powerful. As a matter of fact, the economy is stronger than it's ever been before. Listen to President Trump.
It's said now that our economy is the strongest it's ever been in the history of our country. And you just have to take a look at the numbers. Unemployment, all-time historic lows. Black unemployment, Hispanic unemployment, Asian unemployment, women unemployment. These are records that are being set on a weekly basis. Our country is doing phenomenally well. We're going all the way. You look at what's happening outside of the United States, it's not a pretty picture. Inside of our country, we are just setting records, and I'm going to keep it that way. We have a lot of potential. We have a long way to go. Great trade deals are being negotiated right now. We're doing some great trade deals. When that happens, your 4.1 is going to go even higher. We're having a lot of fun.
Even higher. Listen, God has heard our prayers. He's answered. He's blessing America. He's blessing the world. He's moving. A great awakening is coming. I want to pray for you right now. Don't forget to comment below. Write to us at friends@vfnkb.com. God, we just thank you for our president. We bless him and all of his cabinet and all the righteous leaders, God, that you would lead them and guide them. And God, we ask you, end abortion, send revival, send a third great awakening, we pray. In Jesus' name, God bless you. Be sure to subscribe and press alert to get new notifications of new success secrets made available on VFNtv.
You know, a lot of people want to abide with the Lord, but they just don't have a plan to do it. You can request that plan today at iabide.org. I'm your host, Greg Lancaster, and we're so glad that you've joined us. Don't forget you can join us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download our app and sign up for our newsletter, The Torch,
at VFNkb.com.
I've enjoyed our time together. God bless.